Days, our special addressee of the day, CA Aditya Kumar Maheshwari, who is also a regional council member for the EIRC, and obviously the speaker of the day, CA Harshit Chowdhury ji. So I welcome you all on behalf of EIRC on this another session of Golden Charcha. And to start with, I would like to ask Aditya sir to address the session to our participant as well as the speaker. Over to you, Aditya sir.
Thank you, Amit ji. We are having a series of Golden Charcha wherein we are discussing newer and newer topics on each of the uh, day of the Golden Charcha. So we are having it twice in a week, and it's a continuous series. So we'll be requesting the members to keep on joining these sessions. So today we are going to discuss on a very important topic relating to the startup, how the fundings are raised in a startup, and the MSME. So as we all know that MSME contributes more than 60% to our total economy, and it is very important aspect. And most of we chartered accountants who are primarily into serving as proprietorship or partnership firms, we serve largely to the MSME firms, and knowing about the MSME and more specifically the startup is very important for all of us to that how these fundings are made, how the various cities of fundings are raised by the startups, because many of our clients wish to come up with uh, their business ideas, but at times they do not know how to raise these funds and all, and we as chartered accountants can very conveniently guide them up and that how to raise the funds to their ideas. For this, we have a very eminent speaker today. See, Harshit Chowdhury is going to take up the session on this. So, without much taking the time on the saying other things, I'll directly jump on and hand over the proceedings back to Amit Agarwal ji, who will take on the session and ask and request Sri Harshit Chowdhury ji to give his session. Over to Amit Agarwal sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for once again a wonderful address and inspiring us as always towards giving to the society, being a chartered accountant, being liable, ethical, and obviously imparting knowledge to the various sector among the colleagues, fellow members, as well as to the clients and the society as well. So thank you so much, sir, for addressing this special session. And coming to our speaker of the day and the topic with our Honorable Prime Minister vision of Make in India, obviously it is very important for MSME to grow and the startup to grow and make the services and commodities within the India itself. To achieve this, obviously the fundraising is required and the various financial planning is required. That includes the debt as well as the equity. So our speaker of the day, CA Harshit Chaudhary, is the right speaker for imparting knowledge on this and sharing his expertise and experience on fundraising for the startup. That includes how we can raise the fund, how we can go scalable, sustainable scalability of the business, as well as to maintain the debt equity ratio, as well as if we are going for the equity financing, so how we can go for the equity financing and pitch the right deck to the investor. So going to the Harshit Chaudhary ji background, he is a chartered accountant by profession, and he has been associated with the ICICI Bank, where he has significantly contributed by performing financial analysis, assessing clients, credit worthiness, and appraisal projects. His ability to blend deep financial expertise with practical, result oriented solution has enabled numerous businesses to secure funding and achieve sustainable growth. So, CA Harshit Chaudhary ji will impart the knowledge and share his expertise on the matter, given his background of the finances in the ICICI Bank and currently what he is doing, the consultancy to the various MSMEs as well as the startup for fundraising. So over to you, CA Harshit Chowdhury ji. Floor is yours, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Aditya sir and Amit sir, for giving me this opportunity to impart knowledge to all my colleagues. Uh, and sir, thank you so much and for such a warm welcome. So I'll not waste much of our time, and I'll directly start through my PPTs, and I'll make sure that everyone who are present here in this webinar uh, will surely gain value at the end of this session. I'll make sure this seminar will be very interactive uh, and interesting for everyone. So I would like to start. I'm sharing my PPT over here so that everyone can go through and see through it. Is it visible to all?
Uh, I think it is getting visible, sir. Yeah, it is visible now.
So thank you so much, sir. Um, right now, I would like to ask a few questions. Uh, few questions from the attendees. Like, sir, so I think everyone present over here are willing to start some kind of their own business or are in consultancy business uh, with their client, who guide their client to raise funds or how to build the books so that they can get the funds easily from the banks, financial institutions, NBFCs, or fund houses. So can I get a vote of like who are the either who are my audience? Like are is there chartered accountant who are looking to guide the clients how to raise funds, or is there students who are willing to learn more so that my point of discussion would be rooted like that only? Can I get a hi or something on chat box so that I can go through it? Uh, I'm still waiting for the reply. So, assuming uh, people present here are CAs or students who are willing to learn more about on this topic. So, let me start through the PPT. So, so I think most of people in India have the dreams to start their own startup and MSME concern. So my question over here is, what is stopping you guys to start their own concern? Uh, when I sat down and thought, what are the main problems or difficulties we are facing while we think of starting a business? So when I summarized it and I got to know that basically two type of risk which we face initially. One is financial risk and second is business risk. Business risk, I have bifurcated it into two parts. One is lack of experience and lack of confidence. So here my presentation will uh, give you brief discussion about how to mitigate this financial risk as well as the business risk. So how we can mitigate the business risk uh, through a project report for an MSME client and through a pitch deck for a startup client. So, as a consultant working in the field of fundraising for startups and MSMEs, one of the uh, most important part of funding, as per me, is project report and a good pitch deck or a good pitch deck. So if someone wants to start a business, so I think he needs to prepare a project report and a in-depth project report until and unless he is totally and 100% satisfied that he can run his own business after preparing that project report. So if we prepare a proper project report, we gain our lack of experience. We get the answer of whether we lack the experience and whether we lack the confidence part. For example, I'll give you an example like how we can mitigate if lack of experience. Like if we are starting a business and we don't have a experience in that business, we can obviously hire or always hire a director or business partners who are already in that line of business and working and has been working in that line of business uh, for some period of time, which can add value to us. So we need to bring in those persons in our business so that our business flourish. We don't fail in our business. So like this, lack of confidence, whether whether the business is going to earn profit or not, how much sales we need to do, how much profit which we need to earn, what is the our break-even point, sensitivity analysis, what are the uh, pros and cons, SWOT analysis, everything needs to be covered in project report or a pitch deck to ensure that our the business enterprise flourishes. So hope everyone is catching up with me and is getting my point that the importance. Whenever a client approaches to me, the first point I tell them and I urge them is to prepare a project report. Until and unless he has the confidence that the data present in the project reports are achievable or he can achieve that data easily, I tell them to revise and go through the project reports again and again until he gets 100% confidence that yeah, this business model is going to work. So for me as a consultant, and I advise each and everyone, whoever is present here, whether it is a CA or a students, or for anyone who is going to start their own business, ask them to prepare a project report. It is an important document. Nowadays, bank people are not asking for project reports on a regular basis. Still, I would suggest everyone present here to prepare a project report before starting a business. So, what is a project report? Project report is a detailed document that outlines your business plan. It includes an executive summary, market analysis, organization structure, operational strategy, and financial projections. So, what does a project report includes? A project report or a pitch deck will include about the company, about the promoters, what are the business, what business is the company in, whether it is in manufacturing of clothes or it's in manufacturing of plastic goods. About the promoters, what who are the promoters? What are their past experience? Whether their promoters are holding a degrees, whether they are qualified or not. What is the family background? Then diligently we need to describe the manufacturing process, how we are going to manufacture or uh, provide any services to our customer. What would be the process which we are going to follow? Uh, our manufacturing process should be in a detailed form so that if we identify each and every cost which is which is going to be incurred in the manufacturing process. Fourthly, we need to always write down our location advantage, where the factory is going to be located, whether the availability of raw material is there or not, or whether the customers whom we are going to sell the product are located nearby or not. Everything needs to be covered in locational advantage. Do an industry analysis. This is also a very important point. We need to identify our competitors. Who are our competitors? What are they doing? What are their profit margins? What are their turnovers? How smoothly is the business running of the competitor? Uh, this studies needs to be there. Then sixth point: prepare the list of vendors and customers. Uh, as per me, a list of vendors and customers also act as a main point while preparing a project report and giving confidence to your lenders. That is banks or financial institutions who are going to lend you money, or as fund houses or a venture capitalists who are going to infuse money in you. We need to list down vendors from whom you are going to buy the product, or whom you are going to procure the services, and to whom you are going to sell it. Even in some instances, I have seen uh, lenders are asking for PI, purchase order or letter of intent, from the customers. For example, like recently I did a case where I was doing a funding round of an MSME company, uh, having a turnover. That company was just registered and was starting a new business. So main question that bank people asked me was whether Harshit, the client who is going to start his own business, has customer base or not. So fortunately, the client who was going to start his own business had a good customer base. So bank people asked me, "Ki Harshit, please can you get me a letter of intent uh, from those customers who are ready to buy. They're not committing to buy, but they're ready to buy goods and services from the customer, from my client." So somehow we arranged it, and we got the funds released. Uh, and and now I can say proudly that that business is doing good, and bank people are also happy to have him as a customer. So if you go through this narration, and you will find that list of customer acted as a plus point and giving comfort to the banker. That is the only reason we got that fund sanctioned. Cost benefit analysis and profitability. Obviously, we need to identify how much sales we can do through our unit. What is the cost incurred, and obviously what are the profitabilities for which we are doing the business. And funding structures and financials, again, we need to identify from where we are going to raise, whether uh, an equity will be easier for us, or a debt raise could be cheaper for us. We need to identify all these things in our project report. Uh, in our project report. So I hope everyone is getting my point that the importance of project report. Uh, the project report still has that importance in one's life. So I even urge again to prepare a project report before starting. Always ask your client if they are going for expansion. So always ask your clients to prepare a project report, whether this project report shows them a feasibility, whether प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट में बहुत क्लियरली समझ में आ जाएगा कि यार ये प्रोजेक्ट अपना फिजिबल है कि नहीं. अगर वहाँ फिजिबिलिटी प्रूव हो जाता है, देन वी शुड स्टार्ट आवर ओन कंसेप्ट. Now, there were two parts of our risk. So one was financial risk and one was business risk. So
But
I have discussed. So I have discussed about the business risk. Ki how a project report can eliminate your business risk. Any questions relating to business risk can be eliminated through your project report. That is very clear from my side. So now I'll be talking about financial risk. कि यार अपने सोचते हैं कि before starting a business कि हमें इतने रुपए चाहिए होंगे, इतने रुपए मैनेज कैसे होंगे. या कहाँ से मैनेज होंगे, कौन करेगा, इसमें रिस्क इन्वॉल्व रहता है। तो जैसे भी टॉक अबाउट रिस्क, आई थिंक दिस फाइनेंशियल रिस्क ऑल्सो वी आर कवरिंग इन प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट। जब आपने कॉस्टिंग इंक्लूड करते हैं वहां पे, तो आपने टर्म लोन या सीसी अवेल करते हैं फ्रॉम द बैंक, फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस या इक्विटी स्टेक होल्डर्स, तो एवरीथिंग एवरीथिंग आर बीन कैप्चर्ड इन दैट रिपोर्ट एंड कवर्ड। तो सब चीज को फैक्टर करने के बाद हम लोग लास्ट में निकालते हैं फिजिबिलिटी रिपोर्ट, तो फाइनेंशियल रिस्क भी वहां पे हैज बीन टेकन केयर ऑफ। तो अब फाइनेंशियल रिस्क में अब क्या है कि फंडिंग कहाँ से रेस होगा, कैसे होगा, एंड हाउ वी कैन रेस फंड्स, ये चीज आइडेंटिफाई करना है। So basically, from a bird's eye view, there are two sources through which we can raise funds. First one is debt, and second one is equity. डेट क्या होता है? सिंपल, बैंक से रुपया उठाने को डेट बोलते हैं, लोन हो गया। बैंक से लोन उठा लिया, एनबीएफसी से उठा लिए, फंड हाउस से उठा लिए, वो हो सकता है। एंड सेकेंड वे इज इक्विटी, जहाँ पे अपने वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट, प्राइवेट है, फंड हाउसेस है, वहां से अपने इक्विटी, अपनी कंपनी का इक्विटी उनको देंगे एंड दे विल परचेज इट फ्रॉम अस। तो उसके अगेंस्ट में हमको रुपया मिलता है इन आवर बैंक अकाउंट, जिस रुपये को हम लोग यूटिलाइज करके वी कैन एक्सपैंड आवर बिजनेस। तो इसमें कॉन्सेप्ट ये है कि आज के दिन में व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट फाइनेंशियल रिस्क, हमें ये चीज आइडेंटिफाई करना होता है कि वेदर अपने पास इतना रुपया है खुद का, जहाँ से हम खुद का रुपया लगा के एक नया फैक्ट्री सेटअप कर ले। अगर उतना रुपया खुद का नहीं है, तो हम लोग क्या है कि बैंक का सपोर्ट लेते हैं, जहाँ पे बैंक कम्स एज एन इन्वेस्टर, एक्ट्स एन एज एन इन्वेस्टर, की बैंक अपना कुछ रुपया इन्वेस्ट करता है, सो दैट वी कैन स्टार्ट आवर ओन बिजनेस। एंड रिमेंबर दैट raising funds through debt is always cheaper than equity. So we need to identify whether we need to raise through debt or equity. अपने profit margin, अपना stakes, सब कुछ stakes में रहता है, so we need to identify it. So mainly debt का काम अभी क्या होता है, via banks, NBFCs and few fund houses are doing aggressively. ये बहुत अच्छे से आज के दिन में structured way में available है in the market. अब when we go for debt, usually bank people या fund houses and lenders ask for collateral cover. And again, it can vary from 0% to 100% or 200% even. Interest rate from, if you are raising debt from bank or NBFC, will be somewhere around 10%. Whereas in equity are basically raised from angel investors, या private equity or fund houses or venture capitalists. These all are big people having a chunk of money in their bank accounts, which they are ready to invest in a new startups. In equity, your shares, which you are giving it to them, acts as an security. And when a big HNI is investing money in your business, taking that risk, so they expect more returns from you. So they usually expect a return from around 30% to 50% from that investment. So basically, these are the sources through which we can raise funds. So funding structure through that. So I'll go through. I'm diving a little more deeper in this subject. Like the अब debt अपने को raise करना, तो what are the minimum criteria which bank people ask or lenders ask? So when we are going to raise funds through the banks, so usually, or it is a thumb rule that uh, bank usually funds 75% of the project cost. Rest 20% needs to be bought by the promoters as promoters contribution. So here it is also written that 25 to 40% margin is required to be brought in by the promoters. Rest 75 to 60% of the project cost will be funded by the banks. This is a very interesting topic, and I think it will interest most of the people over here. Like, what are the major factors that can affect the interest rates? So a collateral cover is one of the criteria uh, that impacts the interest rate majorly. So I have again bifurcated the debt portion into two parts. One is with collateral cover and one is without collateral cover. So with collateral cover, our collaterals can be like any kind of properties, FDs, LIC papers, and all. So interest rate would be somewhere around 9% to 11% now. Since the repo rate has been revised, the interest rate is going up to 8%, well, minimum 8% side, and it can go up to 10.5%. Uh, where the client or the business person is not willing to provide collateral cover, collateral, any kind of a collateral. So those kind of debt is known as unsecured loan. And in case of unsecured loan, the interest rate tends to be on the higher side, usually 14 to 20%. These loans are basically or more aggressively are distributed by NBFCs. And again, here is a main important topic which I think will interest most of the people over here, and this is the most exciting part of our topic. So without collateral cover, also we can get our loan secured. This can be done through government scheme, that is CGT MSME scheme or CGSS scheme. What is CGT MSME scheme? It is a government, basically central government will will provide security or comfort to the lenders on behalf of the business person. That if the lender or the business, if the business person fails to run the business, the central government has taken the responsibility to repay all the debt taken from the bank. So, uh, so even if you guys does not have do not have any collateral, still we can go for this scheme and we can raise money through it. And what is CGSS scheme? This is a central government scheme for startup companies. So even startup people can raise funds in this scheme. So I think many people know about it, and this is one of the fantastic scheme which has been bought in by the government, which has supported immensely all the MSME enterprises. Startup enterprises, even I have done funding under CGSS scheme. I have even funded startups through this scheme. So people who are serious in their business are doing damn good under this scheme and have flourished their business. So I like to inform everyone who is looking to raise funds and they don't have collateral or ample backing from their households. They can raise funds through the CGT MSME scheme, and with the help of the project report will give them a clear idea whether the business is going to work or not. Once the project report gives a green signal, we can raise funds through CGT MSME scheme, and we can start our own business. So if there's any business person or CAs who are present here, I would like to bring you in attention towards this scheme while we can work on it. And again, CGSS scheme also. It's just CGSS scheme and CGT MSME scheme is all both become similar scheme, but one is for MSME client and one is for startup clients. So usually, uh, since this loan is secured by central government, the interest rate tends to be on lower side than the unsecured loan, but higher side for the secured loan. It usually ranges from 9% to 13%. So, so all good till here. So here from here I'll start with different topic, but If you guys have any questions related to that, I can answer it right over here. How we can structure it, and most importantly, while before raising any kind of fund, we need to prepare books in such a way so that it's without we can raise funds without any questions. Our books should tell all the important points which our lenders need to know. So going ahead, I'll discuss about equity. Uh, so again, once the pitch deck is approved, again, pitch deck in case of equity, instead of project report, we use the term pitch deck. Once the pitch deck is approved by the investor, when we present, once the pitch deck gets ready, we send it to the investor. A formal valuation of the enterprise is conducted, typically based on projected financials and future growth potential of the business. Subsequently, detailed discussions are held between the investors and the founders regarding the total funding requirement kitna hai. Thus, the equity stakes that needs to be diluted in exchange of the capital, and usually what would be the duration of the fundraise. Based on the mutually agreed terms, the investor proceeds to infuse money in the business as per the defined structure and timeline. So, obviously, raising equity is not everyone's cup of tea, and investors are not willing to invest in a classical or a saturated line of a business. So the mindset over here of the investor over here is like if they are investing, uh, so mindset of the investor over here is if they are investing in their money and taking that risk, they require higher rate of ROI. As I previously mentioned also, that they are looking to double their fund, the capital infusion. For example, minimum return they will expect while investing in your business is around 30 to 50%. If your business is eligible and can repay, then can earn that much amount of return, then only investors will invest in money in your business. So, and again, raising funds through equity is not an easy process. It's a very lethargic process and a very tedious process. Again, I have raised funds in equity also, and I still remember the due diligence process while raising equity was around 3 to 4 months, and the investors uh, made sure that the company in which he is going to infuse in money is totally 100% compliant, so that there is no such uh, obligations comes in future in due to lack of compliance. So we investor did the due diligence very strictly, and actually we took around 6 months to raise that amount. So again, I'll suggest everyone over here to be 100% compliant in order to raise funds through bank or raise funds through equity. It makes things simply very easy for you and investors or the lenders to invest money in your company. Characteristics of the business suitable for equity funding. Again, I told you, since अगर मोदी खाना बोलेगा कि मेरे को इक्विटी फंड रेज करना, तो प्रोबेबली यार आई विल से नो. आप फंड रेज नहीं कर सकते हैं. आप तभी फंड रेज कर सकते हो वंस व्हेन बिजनेस इज स्केलेबिलिटी. फॉर एग्जांपल जोमेटो ने फंड रेज किया क्योंकि उनका बिजनेस स्केलेबल था. ब्लिंकिट ने मोदी खाना का काम ऑनलाइन ले आया, तो रैपिड ग्रोथ हुआ, इसलिए उनको फंडिंग मिली. इनोवेशन, डिफेंसिबल टेक्नोलॉजी या intellectual property, strong and experienced management team, large addressable market, clear revenue model and monetization part. इसमें इस सब चीज में आपने को एक चीज बहुत क्लियर है कि आपने जो भी अपने जब भी कोई इक्विटी इन्फ्यूजन कर रहा है एक बिजनेस में, तो उसका मार्केट ना उसे फर्स्ट पॉइंट है कि उसको ऑनलाइन प्रेजेंस चाहिए होगा कि हाउ दे कैन डू बिजनेस ऑनलाइन। मैनेजमेंट टीम में कितना एक्सपीरियंस है, उसका जो मार्केट जहाँ पे वो धंधा करने वाला है वो कितना बड़ा है, कितना धंधा वहां से आ सकता है, और क्लियर रेवेन्यू मॉडल एंड मोनेटाइजेशन, हम पैसा कैसे कमा सकते हैं। इट नीड्स टू बी वेरी क्लियर, रिटन डाउन इन द पिच डेक, पेन एंड पेपर में क्लियर होना चाहिए। So these are the basic characteristics which our investor looks in a business in which they fund. So types of business suitable for equity funding. So technology startups. Since I raised for I raised equity for a technology startup only. Yeah, consumer brands or D2C startups, sustainability or clean tech startups, healthcare and biotech startups, artificial intelligence or deep tech startups are few types of examples in which investors are willing to invest huge money. Uh, Again, I would like to add something. A few days back, I was having discussions with a investor. So again, he showed me interest that he's willing to invest in startup who are working in AI or consumer brands. So not everyone is investing in every type of businesses, but usually it has been seen our trend that investors are working in similar line of business invest in such startups. For example, a consumer brand startup investor will invest in consumer brand startups since he has experience in that line. So again, why we will raise funds through equity? There must be some benefits. So few benefits are highlighted over here. There is no collateral requirement. आपको कोई collateral रखने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ता. No repayment obligation. हर दिन अपने हर month के end आपको कोई टेंशन नहीं होता कि यार अपने interest पे करना है. Risk shared with investors. Obviously, when a big name is involved in your business, so we get advantages of his network. Again, he's sharing the risk with us. And I have seen this when a big name is associated with our business itself flourishes. That is why we have seen that brands bring in merchant like for MS Dhoni को लेकर आ गया as a brand ambassador. तो वो क्या है कि that brings in integrity for the customers part. Customer को लगता है यार MS धोनी इसको कर रहा है तो हम इससे प्रोडक्ट खरीद सकते हैं. It can be a trusted brand. Enhance credibility. When equity funding होता है जब अपना बुक 100% compliant हो ही चुका है तो अपना credibility भी increase हो जाता है. At that point of time हमको कोई भी बात का टेंशन नहीं होता कि हम वेदर हमको वापस कोई हमको आगे पीछे से कभी गिरा देगा नहीं गिराएगा. वैसा स्ट्रैटेजिक बेनिफिट, सिंस अपने इतना बड़ा नेटवर्क मिलता है तो अपने इसको स्ट्रैटेजिकली यूज कर सकते हैं एंड इम्प्रूव कैश फ्लोस. So a quick question: raising funds through equity is easy? My answer is no. And a small note for as a chartered accountant: if a business does not exhibit the key characteristics required for equity funding, such as scalability, innovation, market validation, or a strong founding team, it is advisable to recommend raising funds through debt instrument instead. So, friends, whoever are present here, please ensure and go through these lines once again. If a business does not exhibit the key characteristics required for equity funding, so characteristics which we have discussed in earlier slides, if that business does not exhibit those characteristics, then I would personally recommend to raise funds through debt instrument. Again, debt instrument, again, I am adding to it. Debt instruments are cheapest form of instrument available in the market. Uh, Not every business should go for equity, as since it is a costly affair. It again depends from business to business, and we need to think wisely before raising debt or equity. So I would like to end my presentation with a positive note. Finance is not just it's not just about numbers. It's about enabling dreams, driving innovations, and empowering growth. With the right financial strategy, even the smallest idea can become a game-changing enterprise. I am reading it once again. Enterprise is not just about numbers. Finance is not just about numbers. It's about enabling, enabling dreams, driving innovations, and empowering growth. With the right financial strategies, even the smallest idea can become a game-changing enterprise. And I mind it. I do vouch for it. Amit Bhaiya, now I since I have done with my presentation, I would like to take request you to take from here.
Thank you so much, Harshit ji, for such a nice deliberation and providing a brief about how the startup works and how any startup or the MSME go about the funding, how they
Yes.
plan their finance, what are the sources of funding, and what are the process of getting a fund, as well as what are the things to be taken care while taking a fund and investing that in your business. Apart from that, you also have mentioned how CA can help the startup and the MSME to raise the fund, and obviously this will act as a additional source of service for them also. So that was a very beautiful deliberation regarding the same. So there's a question, we can take the question answer round. So Brajesh is saying, can I ask question only? Yes, sir, I can just mute.
Sure.
So so that you can ask the question, Brajesh ji. Give me a sec, sir. I will unmute you. ब्रिजेश जी आपका अनम्यूट नहीं हो रहा है फॉर सम रीजंस आई डोंट नो व्हाट सो आपको एक बार क्वेश्चन टाइप करके ही पूछना पड़ेगा इट्स नॉट गेटिंग अनम्यूट सो आई गेस यू हैव टू टाइप योर क्वेश्चन एंड आई थिंक Panchana Jena has also raised his hand. So, sir, you can also ask your question in the chat box itself because today we are unable to unmute any of the participant. So, I guess we will not be able to get the question orally. So, you can write up the question in the chat box. So, meanwhile, sir, जब तक they are writing the question in the chat box. So,
हमें इसमें allow to talk ऑप्शन आ रहा है.
I guess मेरे पास नहीं आ रहा है. So, you can just allow them to talk.
मैं allow किया इनको also ask to unmute. सर ब्रजेश जी आप बात कर सकते हो. I think ask आपके पास permission है सर. I don't know मतलब. हाँ
आ रही है.
हाँ सर बोलिए ना.
मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है आपसे कि आपके एक स्लाइड में दिखा कि जो डेट में उनका रिक्वायरमेंट है इंटरेस्ट का वो 8 से 12% समथिंग लाइक दिस, और इक्विटी इन्वेस्टर का जो है वो 30 से 50% का उनका रिक्वायरमेंट रहता है. तो कौन सा बिजनेस इंडिया में है आज के दिन में जो 50% कमा के देता होगा? वैल्यू एप्रिसिएशन तो हो सकता है, लेकिन किस बिजनेस में अपने 30 से 50% कमाते हैं कि जिसमें आके इन्वेस्टर आके अगर 50% कमा ही रहे होते, अपने किसी को पैसा देने का दरकार क्या था? अपने पैसे से ग्रोथ करते. 50% में है सर.
सर आपका क्वेश्चन एकदम वैलिड है. तब तो मैं बोला कि सर जो आप जिस बिजनेसेस का बात कर रहे हो जहाँ 50% रिटर्न नहीं, उसको इक्विटी नहीं जाना चाहिए. कई बिजनेसेस है जैसे अभी मैंने लास्ट ईयर एक फंडिंग कराया इक्विटी राउंड का. उस बिजनेस में सर ऑलरेडी 2 इन्वेस्टमेंट राउंड हो रखा है और हर इन्वेस्टमेंट राउंड में उनका रुपए डबल हुआ है. तो उस बिजनेस में उतना पोटेंशियल है. वो अभी से कलकत्ता में स्टार्ट हुआ था, वो पैन इंडिया बढ़ेगा सर. तो अब क्या ना कि इक्विटी का वैल्यू हर राउंड में उसका इंक्रीज हो रहा है। मेरे क्लाइंट ने फर्स्ट राउंड ऑफ
मैं ये
इक्विटी
कह रहा हूँ सर, आप जो 8 से 12% बताए वो सालाना बताए ना, कि साल
हाँ
में
सर, एकदम
12% का,
सालाना बताया मैं।
तो सर सालाना में 50%, आप उसी को तो कंपेयर कर रहे हैं 12% से 50% को, तो सालाना 50% का सर नेट प्रॉफिट या इनकम किस बिजनेस में है सर आज के दिन में इंडिया में?
सर सर आप दो चीज में कंफ्यूज हो रहे हो सर। इक्विटी में ना आप इक्विटी बेचते हो, आप बिजनेस का रिटर्न नहीं देखते हो।
किस
आपका
बिजनेस
वैल्यू
में?
क्रिएशन होता है सर वहां पे, आईपीओ के थ्रू होता है।
हाँ, वैल्यू एप्रिसिएशन आप बोल सकते हैं, तो
वैल्यू
वैल्यू
एप्रिसिएशन के थ्रू ही सर
एप्रिसिएशन
आप
ईयरली बेसिस
इन्वेस्टर
पे तो नहीं
कमाएगा।
होगा ना सर?
हाँ
ईयरली बेसिस, आपका जो कंपैरिजन है वो ईयरली बेसिस पे है, 8 से 12% का, 30 से 50% का, तो ईयरली बेसिस पे वैल्यू एप्रिसिएशन होता है क्या वैसा?
हाँ सर, होता है, 100% होता है सर। मैं मेरे 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 केसेस में हो रहा है। मैं हैव क्लाइंट्स जिनका सर पहला राउंड उन्होंने 50 लाख रुपए रेस किए थे, और सेकंड राउंड वो 450 4.5 करोड़ रुपए में रेस किया है। उनका रुपए डबल हुआ है सर। अब वो साल भर के 6 महीने में रुपए डबल हुआ है उनका। तो सर वो वैसा बिजनेस आइडिया होना चाहिए, स्टार्टअप होना चाहिए सर, तभी वो इक्विटी फंड रेज होती है।
और एक चीज सर और था कि जितने भी स्टार्टअप अभी फेल हुए हैं, उनके पास भी तो प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट था, उनके पास भी सारी चीजें थी, तो उनको फेल होने का रीजन क्या है सर? मार्केट तो इंडिया का ही है। आपका जो बताया गया बिजनेस
सर
रिस्क मिटिगेट करना,
फेलियर,
फाइनेंशियल रिस्क मिटिगेट करना, इसके लिए डीपीआर बनाते हैं, तो डीपीआर उनके पास भी रहा होगा, उनको भी इन्वेस्टर मिले होंगे 50% ग्रोथ के लिए, तो उनका फेलियर का रीजन क्या था? तो रिस्क तो रही गया उनका।
नहीं सर रिस्क रहता है, लेकिन कई बार क्या होता है कि आप जो भी बिजनेस अगर फेल हो रहे हो देख रहे हो, तो प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट में सर एक अपने अजम्पशन पे बनते हैं। और कहीं पर ना कहीं पर कहीं ना कहीं आप देखोगे कि आप प्रमोटर का इंटेंशन इशू इशू होता है, वो रुपए डिबेट करना स्टार्ट होता है, या कंप्लायंस पूरा करता नहीं है, या वो कंपनी को मैनेज नहीं कर पा रहा उस लेवल पे। तो इन दैट सिनेरियोज मतलब आप देखोगे अगर पेटीएम भी डूब रहा है तो कंप्लायंस इशू की वजह से डूब रहा है। तो वो चीज आपने को समझना है कि आपने जब एक बड़ा स्टार्टअप उतना उस राउंड ऑफ फंडिंग कर रहे हैं, तो वी नीड टू इंश्योर कि यार आपने हर चीज फॉलो करें। इट्स नॉट अ बच्चे का खिला नहीं है, आपकी फंडिंग रेस कर ली और आप निकल के कुछ भी नहीं कर पाएंगे। आपने को सब चीज को
हाँ,
मैनेज करते हुए आगे बढ़ना हो। तो फेलियर का
सर
रीजन एक नहीं,
आपके
मल्टीपल
आपके
रीजन हो
स्लाइड
सकता
में
है सर।
सर सिर्फ फाइनेंशियल रिस्क था और बिजनेस रिस्क था। कंप्लायंस रिस्क जो इंडिया में मेन है कि कब गवर्नमेंट का क्या मूड बदलता है और अभी बिजनेस कंप्लाई कर पा रहा है कि नहीं कर पा रहा है, वो तो आपको उसमें मिसिंग था। इसलिए हमने कहा कि डीपीआर तो सबका बनता है, बिजनेस भी होता है, लेकिन मन चाहे हिसाब से थोड़ी ना बिजनेस कर पाता है आदमी, कि जैसा हम सोचे वैसा ही होगा।
एकदम सर 100%। वो लेकिन वो सब चीज सर अपने प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट में कवर करते हैं ना, सेंसिटिविटी एनालिसिस में, कि इन केस अपना सेल्स कितना हुआ तो अपना अपना प्रॉफिट कितना इम्पैक्ट होगा, या अपना रॉ मटेरियल प्राइस इंक्रीज हो गया तो अपना प्रॉफिट कितना इम्पैक्ट होगा। वी कवर दैट इन आवर प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट ना सर। अपने मन
हाँ
हिसाब से नहीं चले तभी तो सेंसिटिविटी एनालिसिस अपने प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट में डालते हैं।
हाँ। तो आप वाले पॉइंट में नहीं था, इसलिए मैंने पूछा कि कंप्लायंस वाली पार्ट कहाँ पर
इवन
था,
I have
वाला?
mentioned compliance वाला point in my presentation also, कि मैं बोला हुआ company needs to be 100% compliant to raise funds, whether it is debt or equity. I have even mentioned this point. So I am facing it regularly. मैं दिन रात ये काम करता हूँ, तो मेरे को पता है कि
ठीक,
how it is
एकदम ठीक बात है।
how it is important to be compliant। ये भी सर मेरे को लगता है कि सर एक नया बिजनेसमैन को ना compliance से ज्यादा मेरे को उनको डर होता है कि फाइनेंशियल एंड बिजनेस रिस्क का। तो मतलब सर आप धंधा चालू करने से पहले ये सोचोगे रुपया कहाँ से आएगा और मैं कैसे चलाऊंगा इसको। कंप्लायंस तो सर ग्रेजुअली वो पार्ट एंड पार्सल एंड मतलब ठीक है, दैट इज आल्सो एन इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट। प्रोबेबली आई विल ऐड इन माय प्रेजेंटेशन फ्रॉम नेक्स्ट टाइम, बट सर मेरे को मेजरली ये रिस्क लग रहा था।
नहीं, ठीक है। अभी जैसे हो गया तो अमेरिका का कसल चल रहा है, तो अभी मोदी जी अनाउंस कर रहे हैं कि स्वदेशी चुनो, स्वदेशी। जब आपका वाइब्स मैच होगा तो आप सबको बुला के इंडिया को ग्लोबल कर देंगे, जब आपका वाइब्स मैच नहीं होगा तो आप बोल देंगे स्वदेशी चुनो। तो इसका मतलब कि आपने तो कंफ्यूज है सर, नहीं है क्या?
Sir, I think
बिजनेस
let's
उसी में
not
करना है।
talk about government policies over there. Let us be more concentrate about the our
करेक्ट सर।
session and more of the information exchange and imparting knowledge from each other.
सर हमारा
So,
बिजनेस मैक्रो
government
इकोनॉमी पे
decisions
डिपेंड नहीं
let the
करता है क्या?
government decide कि क्या करना है। Being a caretaker, we should take care कि जो भी गवर्नमेंट डिसीजन है या पॉलिसीज है, उसका हम लोग बेस्ट आउटकम या बेस्ट पॉसिबल मैनर में क्या कर सकते हैं towards the society, towards our client and towards ourselves.
करेक्ट
So
सर
that is our,
अपना बिजनेस मैक्रो इकोनॉमी का पार्ट है कि नहीं?
I
है तो
totally
असर पड़ेगा।
totally agree. I totally agree. Combinedly, all the business houses in India and the chartered accountant as a professional forms the economy and plays a major role. And but whatever the policies there of the government, we have to abide by that, and we have to take our decision based on those policies. We can question them, we can take a stand, but till that is in existence, we have to abide and we should go by that. So उसके accordingly सर अपने को चलना पड़ेगा, and as the things
भैया
changes,
I'll add something. तभी
yeah.
तो सर हम लोग बोलते हैं ना कि अपना हर को वोट देना जाना चाहिए. हम लोग ही चूज करते हैं अपने गवर्नमेंट्स को. We need to start choosing them wisely.
So I think Panchanan ji, do you have any query, because your hand is raised up? So Harshit, can you just allow Panchanan ji to talk?
एक सेकंड.
Because I am unable to do so.
हाँ baby, I'll do it. 1 second. I have allowed him.
Yeah, Panchanan ji, do you have any query?
No query.
Okay. So you can just lower your hand. Okay. Any more query for any of the participant? So just to let you know, Harshit ji, Brajesh ji is a very interactive participant throughout the various session of Golden Charcha, and he generally joins in almost all the sessions and very actively participating in this. So I'm sure he must be very enthusiastic and knowledge oriented person. So that's the
Crazy.
reason.
That's so nice.
Yeah. So the participant like him makes the this program successful.
Correct.
So going back to the session, that was a great session, and that was great to have you here in such a short time and accept the invitation to be a speaker. And thank you to all the participants for the patience for listening and understanding the concept. And I'm sure everyone will go back and have a R&D on this fundraising system to MSME as well as the startup. And also, Harshit rightly pointed out the various scheme of the government, whether it is CGTMS or the other startup funding scheme, where we can advise startup to get a fund, and we can have our professional expansion as well. So
Exactly, we can all raise funds through that scheme. It's a very helpful scheme. So, I would like to write down, I would like to write down my email ID in case anyone wants to connect with me.
You can just write down in the chat box. So if any of the participant is
Yes.
connected with you, they can get connected with you.
So everyone, members, I have written down my mail ID in the chat box. So if anyone wants to connect with me, can connect with me.
With respect to any of the financing needs or anything, you can just directly
anything related to anything, you can connect with me.
Any query or anything, you can be directly connect with him. So thank you so much, CA Harshit Chowdhury ji. That was a fantastic presentation and explanation on the topic. And thank you for sharing your knowledge and expertise with us on this particular topic. And we hope to see you again. And I thank you on behalf of EIRC and the coordinator of the session, Amit Agarwal. And thank you all the participants for again, joining this session. And as you all know, we'll meet you again on the next session, that is on Friday from 5 to 6. So we are hosting this session 3 times a day, thrice a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the time is fixed, 5 to 6. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining over here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bhaiya. Thank you so much, Amit ji.
So much.
Thank you so much.